Good morning, children of grade 11th. Welcome to today's business studies session. And in today's business studies session, I shall be continuing on the topic methods of managing risks. Since 2-3 days have gone because of Diwali, I would like to recap what had happened, what I had taught earlier. I had taught about what is risk, then I had taught about characteristics, features of business risk, then I had taught causes of business risk, and then I had taught types of business risks. So after having taught all these things, today I shall continue with a topic under the head methods of managing risks. Methods of managing risks. See, methods of managing risk, it is not only important to know what risk is, but it is also equally important that we should know how to manage risks. How to manage risks. Only then an entrepreneur can be successful in his business. So, today's topic is method of managing risks. So, there are variety of ways to manage risk. And to start with, I shall start with the point number 1. Accept risk and manage risk. Accept risk and manage risk. Now, yes, it is quite logical that if one has to do business, he has to accept risk and manage risk. But who has to accept risk and who has to manage risk? Now, this particular specific point is suitable only for small business owners, not for huge business firms. Only small business owners can accept risk and manage risk because their investment will be very moderate. So I am sure you must have understood this very simple point, accept risk and manage risk. Then coming to the second point, avoiding risk. Now here, avoiding risk. How do we avoid risk? We avoid risk by evading actions. That is, if I am an entrepreneur and I know that the approach that I am taking is quite risky, which may lead me to loss, then I should be sensible enough to stop taking that particular action which may prevent risk. That is what I have mentioned here, evading actions to avoid risk. Then risk in introducing a product. Now, risk in introducing a product. Now, I should be quite sensible enough to know whether that product is a unique product, how will it suit the market, how will it suit the market in my particular area. Then, what do I know about the new products? All these sort of questions I should consider myself before I launch a new product. So, risk in introducing a product. And the third point is risk can be taken. I don't say risk should not be taken at all. I say risk should be taken provided I as a businessman have an alternative solution to manage the risk. Only under such situation I can be called sensible enough to take risk. I hope you must have understood these three basic points in point number 2. Now coming to transferring of risk. Now this is a very interesting aspect of managing risk. Transferring of risk. Now what is transferring of risk? The word transferring itself, suppose I am a businessman, I am unable to manage the risk, then I transfer the risk to somebody else, and that is called transferring of risk. Okay. Now transferring of risk. When risk cannot be undertaken, when I as an entrepreneur cannot undertake the risk, then I transfer the risk to some other person who has the capability of managing the risk. This is called transferring of risk. Well, transferring of risk are of 3 types. One is called hedging. Hedging is not a very popular method, but still you should know what is hedging. See, what is hedging is, suppose I am an entrepreneur and I am manufacturing some products and I am selling out in the market. But the time gap that falls between selling the product and buying of the product by the customer, what happens is sometimes there occurs a situation when the price drops. So in that case, I would run into a loss. So what would I do in such situation? I transfer the product to a future market. Where when the prices rise, then I can sell the product, and that will help me in earning my profits. So this is called hedging. But this hedging method is not at all popular. Then I am coming to another method called underwriting. In this way, how do you manage the risk? Now, what is underwriting? Underwriting is done by whom? Underwriting is done by an underwriter. Who is an underwriter? An underwriter is a person who acts as a mediator between the investor and the company. Say for example, I am the entrepreneur, and B is the public who are investing. Now here in underwriting, what happens? Companies sometimes they sell their debentures and shares. And sometimes what really happens is that they fail in selling those debentures and shares. So in such situation, they seek the help of an underwriter. What does an underwriter do? An underwriter, he comes and he agrees to sell the debentures and the shares. For the company, for which the underwriter is paid a set amount of commission. Okay, this is the first role that an underwriter does. He acts as a mediator between the company and the public. Then the second role which an underwriter does is that in case the public is not interested in the debentures and the shares, then the amount which has to be invested by the public is invested by himself, for which he is rewarded. Hence, a company takes the help of an underwriter or a mediator who acts as a mediator between the company and the public. I am sure you must have understood this simple concept as to who is an underwriter and what does he do. So an underwriter does the right job of underwriting. Okay, subcontracting. Now I can manage the risk by the process called subcontracting. What is subcontracting? Suppose I am a company and I am manufacturing products. And for manufacturing the products, I need raw materials, I need labor. And while I am going for the labor and raw material, unfortunately the price rises. Now I am not in a position to manage. So what I do, I transfer the entire responsibility to a subcontractor. Who knows how to manage the rising prices, who knows how to go in for labor. So what is the advantage of subcontracting process? The advantage of subcontracting process is that the loss is avoided by entrusting the responsibility to a subcontractor. Furthermore, I as an owner will also know what are the techniques that a subcontractor adopts, so that I too get educated in management of the risk. So children, I am sure you must have understood the 3 points: accept risk and manage risk, avoiding risk, transferring of risk. In transferring of risk, there are 3 types of transfers. One is hedging, one is underwriting, and another is subcontracting. Okay, now let me go to the second section of the topic. Now, second section of the topic is preventing risk. Now, how do I prevent risk? I as a business owner, how do I prevent risk? Okay. Now, risk can be prevented by whom? It can be prevented by anybody, in the form of an individual, in the form of a group, or by a firm, or by a government. So, all these bodies can manage risk, prevent risk. Okay. Now, under this heading called preventing risk, I am going to explain to you how risk can be prevented. A risk can be prevented in an organization if an organization has good forecasting capabilities and a good marketing team. Now, what is forecasting? Now, suppose if an organization does wrong forecasting, then the entire result would be a disastrous one. And if an organization does right forecasting, then the entire results will be very profitable. Say for example, in yesterday's television news, what we heard by 2030 or 2040, England will no more have petrol cars. Now this is called forecasting. This is called forecasting. So we will not have petrol cars, where that means that they will go in for some alternative called as electric cars. So they will go for electric cars. Now this is called forecasting. And if the forecasting comes out to be true, then the manufacturing of electric cars will be highly successful. But if the forecasting doesn't come out to be true, then the manufacturing process will go into a disaster. So this is called forecasting. Therefore, forecasting is a very important tool. Forecasting should be done very rightly in order to achieve profitability. Then scientific forecasting. Scientific forecasting means there would be a team in an organization which would say, okay, what kind of products should be brought inside, what is the use of the product, how it would be helpful to the society, how it would be safe for the environment. Now these are all decided by the group which deals every issue in a scientific manner, and so that is called scientific forecasting. Then if scientific forecasting is right, then what is the biggest benefit is that business environment will be safe. Business environment will be safe and business environment will be profitable. So that is scientific forecasting. Now coming to marketing research. Now marketing research is a very vital segment of any organization. A marketing research team would be there, and the marketing research team would decide for what kind of market, what kind of product should be introduced, and what are the new products that can be introduced, and what are the new products that are on the way, or what are the new products that are through the pipeline. And then the marketing research team will consider what is the most possible price that can be fixed for a particular product which would be favorable for the customers, thereby which would increase the production and thereby increase the profitability. Then distribution channel. What kind of distribution channel should an organization have? That is again a very vital fact to prevent risks. Then sales promotion. Sales promotion. What kind of sales promotion should we adopt? Should we adopt the conventional method, or should we adopt the scientific method, the modern method, which in other words, say for example, digital marketing, which foreign companies are doing it, and even our Prime Minister Mr. Modi has introduced the digital marketing. So what kind of marketing should we do? Then coming to another point, good marketing plan. Now if a company doesn't have a good marketing plan, but if it has all these plans, then it would be futile, it would be waste. So a good marketing plan should be there, and it should have good marketing experts. So what are the benefits of good marketing plan? Good marketing plan can reduce overproduction. It can reduce overproduction. It can reduce overproduction. It can prevent underproduction. At the same time, it will have the production on optimal basis. Then good marketing team can prevent defective distribution. They can give their expert advice in proper channelizing of their distribution system. And then selling campaign. Then a good marketing team can have a scientific approach to selling. Scientific approach to selling by giving training and orientation programs to the sales personnel. So children, this segment I am sure is very simple and understandable. Now I am going to the third segment. So now I am coming to the third segment of the topic. Third segment is research and development. Now, if all the factors in segment 2 is present, but there is no research and development wing, then the entire business would collapse. Research and development is the backbone of any organization to count on success. So, research and development. What does research and development do? By having proper research and development wing in an organization, if I am an entrepreneur, I have a R&D department with me, then what all I can know is that how to remove the obsolete product. Obsolete means old products. Now, whether the products have gone old, then if it is gone old, then I should remove it. So, all these ideas I can get through R&D wing. Then, I can ensure in the market to the customers good quality products through my R&D, Then the next point is credit screening and control. Now this is the most vital point in the entire discussion today. So credit screening and control. Credit screening and control means, that is, if an organization is having its repute in the market, and if credit is if an organization is a reputed one in the market, and then it has to maintain its reputation by screening the credit system. It has to know whom to give credit and whom not to give credit. And similarly, it has to be very prompt in collection of its debts. That is the inflow of the money. It has to be very prompt in the matter of inflow of the money. That is the money that has to come to the organization. Then screening of consumers. Now screening of consumers. Now a business entrepreneur should screen the consumers as to who would give immediate payments, who would give immediate payments, who would not give immediate payments, who would give cash payments. So if a consumer gives cash payments immediately, or if a consumer gives the payment on the right time, then that particular consumer will become a permanent customer. Okay. Then go to inventory control. Now, if an organization, if I am a businessman, I have a good inventory, I have a good stock of, I have a good inventory, and I maintain my inventory very accurately, then I will not run into loss at all. That is, inventory here means the physical stock that I have with me. If I am accounting for my physical stock in a proper disciplined manner, then I will never run into loss, and this way the risk can be prevented. Okay. Now coming to safety programs. Now safety programs is also another important point in reducing risk. That is, firefighting equipment, sprinklers, safety walls, cold storage for perishable items. If these things are available in an organization, then the organization will escape from facing risk. Similarly, special packings. If an organization takes care in packing its products in a special manner, that is in such a special manner that there is no breakage, there is no spilling, or there is no leakage while transportation, then it can prevent losses. Then prevent loss of life by adequate lighting. And adequate lighting, if an organization provides adequate lighting, then it can prevent losses of life. Now let me go on to the fourth segment of this topic. Okay, children, now let me come to the fourth segment. The fourth segment is training and development of employees. Now, how much are the employees trained? That decides the loss or profit in an organization. That is, if employees are very well trained, then they will also know the technique of managing risks, and they will prevent losses. So, then risk due to death. Now, if death risks are reduced in an organization, then losses can be prevented. Then incapacity of an executive. An organization should identify if the executive is inefficient or efficient. If he is not efficient enough, then he should be promptly replaced by an well-educated, experienced executive. Then this can prevent loss. Then training of industrial workers. Industrial workers need to be trained in different segments of their production activities so that losses can be prevented. Now coming to the last few points, government regulations. Now, if the government is prompt in its regulations by introducing import restrictions, suppose the government introduces import restrictions, then the other companies from abroad will not have an opportunity to compete with our products, thereby our domestic market will be safe. Therefore, risk will not be there and business environment will be in a positive frame. Then the government should stabilize prices, freight charges and taxes. Then again, the government, if it stabilizes the prices through various mechanisms, and if it controls the freight charges and taxes, then the business environment will be very effective, and there will be very less risk in the business environment. Then last, reduce risk. Now, to reduce risk, an organization should always have a contingency plan. What is contingency plan? Say for example, I have a scooter and I have a cycle. If the scooter doesn't operate on that particular day, it is or it is not functioning properly, contingency plan is to shift out to the cycle and go for my job. So that is contingency plan. So every organization should have a contingency plan. Then exploit the risk. Exploit the risk. Now this is a very, very interesting point which I need to explain to you. See, exploiting the risk. Exploiting the risk means exploitation of the opportunity where weakness prevails. Say for example, if an organization has very good products but it has lack of marketing executives, then the company can really boost up its sales by appointing well-trained marketing executives who can structure out a plan and help in selling of the product. But on the other hand, if the company has good field force but it lacks good products, then it can bring out some very well experienced product managers in the organization, and with his advice and with his expertise can introduce new products in the market, thereby boost up the sales of the organization. So either way, if the company exploits the opportunity, then it can avoid risk. So for today's session, thank you very much children for listening to it. Thank you.